It's midday. Good afternoon to you and welcome to Bainat Midday News. This news is coming to you live from Benab House, Atomic Junction, Medina. My name is Sherifatu Ayuba. Coming up in this afternoon's bulletin. Six reported dead in stampede during military recruitment exercise at El-Wak Sports Stadium. Minority in Parliament accuses Attorney General, Chief Justice nominee of scheming to secure the latter's confirmation. And on the international front, wife and son of former Gabon president sentenced 20 years over corruption. We bring you details of these stories shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at Bainat TV. Now the news in details. Reports suggest that at least 6 people have died following a stampede at El-Wak Sports Stadium in Accra on Wednesday, November 12, 2025, during a military recruitment exercise. Thousands of young Ghanaians had gathered at the stadium seeking enlistment into the Ghana Armed Forces, with reports indicating that overcrowding and intense jostling at entry point sparked chaos, resulting in multiple injuries and fatalities.
Reports indicate that the bodies of the deceased have been taken to the 37 military hospital morgue, while several others are receiving emergency treatment at the hospital's casualty ward. Security personnel have cordoned off the area, and major roads to the stadium have been blocked to maintain order and assist rescue operations. The recruitment exercise, originally scheduled to end on October 31, 2025, was extended by 1 week due to technical issues on the recruitment portal. In a statement, Colonel Evelyn Ntiamwa Asamoah, Acting Director General of Public Relations, said the extension was intended to accommodate applicants affected by the portal problems. Authorities have not yet officially commented on the stampede, but preliminary reports suggest poor crowd management and large turnout were contributing factors. Investigations are expected to determine the cause and prevent similar incidents in future recruitment exercises.
Staying a while longer on security issues, the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service have launched coordinated joint operations across the Ashanti region, Volta and Ahafo, to apprehend individuals suspected of orchestrating recent attacks on members of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, and other state officials. The dawn swoop, which began on Wednesday, November 12, 2025, are ongoing in specific locations, including the Dajene and Nwana in the Ashanti region, Ehi in the Volta region, and Nhidiem, Kenyase, Jaso, and Maheni in the Ahafo region.
According to a statement signed by Acting Director General of Public Relations for the Ghana Armed Forces, Captain Veronica Ajoahin, The operation is targeted and intelligence-led, aimed at arresting those linked to violent attacks on NIMOS officials, police officers, Environmental Protection Agency personnel, and journalists. The statement warned that any individual or group obstructing ongoing anti-Galamsey operations or other lawful duties would face the full force of the law. Both security agencies assured the public that adequate measures have been taken to ensure the safety and security of residents in affected areas, urging them to remain calm and go about their daily activities without fear. The Ghana Armed Forces and Police Service also commended civil society organizations, the media, and citizens who have condemned the recent attacks, describing their support as vital to the national campaign against illegal mining. Illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, remains one of Ghana's most pressing environmental and security concerns, with ongoing clashes between task forces and illegal miners. The latest joint operations form part of intensified efforts to protect law enforcement personnel and sustain the anti-Galamsey fight.
Now moving on, the minority in Parliament has accused Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine and Acting Chief Justice Paul Baffour-Boni of deliberately manipulating the judicial process to pave the way for the latter's confirmation of a substantive Chief Justice despite ongoing court challenges over the removal of Justice Gertrude Torkornoo. In a statement issued in Accra on Wednesday, November 12, 2025, the Minority Caucus alleged that the Attorney General has deliberately refused to file defenses in all 7 suits contesting the legality of Justice Torkornoo's removal.
According to the caucus, this inaction forms part of a calculated strategy to delay the cases long enough for Parliament to approve Justice Baffour-Boni's appointment, effectively rendering the legal challenges irrelevant. The group says this is not mere administrative oversight or bureaucratic delay. It is a deliberate plan to stall judicial determination until a new Chief Justice is confirmed. The minority further accused Justice Baffour-Boni of a conflict of interest, noting that he presided over the Supreme Court panel that declined to halt Justice Torkornoo's removal earlier this year, a decision from which he now stands to benefit as her nominated successor. The statement reads that as Acting Chief Justice, he oversees the administration of justice, yet none of the constitutional cases challenging Justice Torkornoo's removal have been listed for hearing. No panels have been constituted, no defenses filed, and no progress made. Every day of delay strengthens his candidacy. The caucus warned that the situation undermines judicial ethics and public confidence in the courts, insisting that proceeding with the vetting would make Parliament complicit in what it described as institutional manipulation. The minority has therefore renewed its call for the suspension of Justice Baffour-Boni's vetting and approval until the courts deliver rulings on the cases concerning Justice Torkornoo's removal.
The Attorney General's Department has justified the government's financial actions in connection with the National Cathedral and COVID-19 relief bonds transaction, which are being challenged at the Supreme Court for alleged constitutional violations. The suit filed in 2024 by private citizen Jonathan Amabo seeks several declarations, including that funding the National Cathedral's construction from the Consolidated Fund without prior approval from the Speaker of Parliament and the Council of State Chairperson breaches Article 171 of 11 and the 1992 Constitution.
The private citizen, Jonathan Amabile, who filed the suit, is also demanding the refund of all monies allegedly withdrawn unlawfully for the project. Mr. Amabile's case extends to the constitutionality of a $10 billion COVID-19 relief bond agreement between the Minister of Finance and the Bank of Ghana, which he claims violates Article 181 Clause 4 governing public borrowing. Responding to the suit, Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine maintains stating that all government actions were lawful and consistent with the Constitution. He clarified that payments made towards the National Cathedral came from the contingency vote under other government obligations, not from the contingency fund as alleged. According to the Attorney General, the National Cathedral is 100% owned by the state, citing a January 6, 2022 legal opinion affirming it as a state-owned company limited by guarantee under the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. The statement further noted the details of the project's funding and policy directives that have been publicly outlined in budget statements since 2018, where the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta committed to providing land, a secretariat, and seed funding for the project, with the rest expected from private sources. On the COVID-19 relief bond, the Attorney General's department argued that the transactions between the Minister of Finance and the Bank of Ghana was a lawful fiscal measure adopted during the pandemic and within the limits of government's financial management framework.
On this note, we go for a quick break. We'll be back with business and more.
From the very first stage to this defining moment, they came with passion, purpose, and the power of faith. And now, 5 remarkable voices remain. Each has walked a journey of courage, conviction, and devotion, each ready to make history. Ilham, soft and gentle, yet fearless. Her calm voice carries power. Her gentleness commands hearts.
It is our problem, and together, tare zamu iya kiyaye yaran matanmu.
Halima, slow but sure, every step deliberate, every moment filled with quiet purpose.
So no matter how you think you have all the weapons in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only says be and it will be.
Maimuna shines in modesty. Her humility radiates strength, grace in faith.
وجعل القمر فيهن نورا وجعل الشمس سراجا.
Hanun, bold and fearless, her words burn with truth and courage.
This is not leadership, this is betrayal, but not all hearts are hardened.
Muhammad, the only man left standing, a pillar of resilience. His voice echoes leadership and legacy.
Amina, I want Chelsea to win the game. I'm trying to fix us, Amina. Can't you understand? I'm trying to fix us. And you just understand how it's like to carry everything. Hey.
Faith, talent, unity. The journey that began with hope ends with history. The Umma Show Grand Finale, Friday, 14th November at 8 p.m. live on Baina TV. Venue, Zenith University College, near Trade Fair, La Accra. Entry free. The Umma Show, definitely different.
You're welcome back. You're still watching Baina Midday News on Baina TV. Now moving on to some business story. Ratings agency Standard & Poor's S&P has warned that Ghana's economy remains vulnerable to external shocks despite showing improved stability in recent months. In its latest report, S&P said that notwithstanding stronger recent economic outturns, Ghana's economy remains exposed to risks from commodity price fluctuations, external conditions, and weather-related shocks.
The assessment comes after the agency upgraded Ghana's sovereign credit rating to B- to B with a stable outlook, citing improved fiscal performance and a better balance of payments. However, S&P cautions that the sustainability of the government's fiscal reforms remains uncertain, especially during election years. TJE Group expressed concern about potential fiscal slippages during future election cycles, which in the past have coincided with large increases in public spending. S&P recalled that Ghana's weak fiscal discipline during previous elections contributed to a steady rise in government debt, untimely leading to the country's 2022 debt default. On the exchange rate, the agency highlighted Ghana's high exposure to foreign-denominated debt, warning that over 50% of public debt is in foreign currency, and exchange rate movements have a material impact on the debt-to-GDP ratio. Despite these vulnerabilities, S&P presented a more optimistic economic outlook, revising Ghana's growth forecast from 4.5% to 6.0%. The agency attributed this to strong commodity prices, a stabilizing cedi, and easing inflation. S&P expects inflation to fall below 10% from 2026 and remain within the Bank of Ghana's 6% to 10% target range through 2028, supported by improved monetary policy credibility and reduced fiscal deficit financing. The report concluded that sustained exchange rate stability will be critical to maintaining lower inflation and preserving recent economic gains.
Now moving on to some international news, the wife and son of former Gabonese President Ali Bongo were sentenced to 20 years in prison in absentia on Tuesday night after being found guilty of embezzling public funds. Sylvia Bongo Odimba and Rodine Bongo Valentine faced trial this week before a special criminal court on multiple corruption charges. The court found the former First Lady guilty of money laundering, misappropriation of funds, and incitement of forgery, while her son was convicted of extortion, theft of titles and positions, aggravated money laundering, and criminal conspiracy. Both were also ordered to pay a fine of 100 million CFA francs. And in sports, 18 players have arrived at the Black Stars camp at the Anna Crown Plaza Hotel in Ngoya ahead of the 2025 Kirin Cup clash with Japan.